Hello everyone, welcome to GATE Aerospace Academy. We all know that GATE Aerospace exam is going to be held on Feb 11, 2023. We are getting a lot of queries related to exam like how to handle exam pressure, how to do time management. Even we are getting some queries like is there any particular strategy that needs to be followed while attempting question paper to get maximum marks. So we, GATE Aerospace Academy, came up with a video to give solutions to these queries. So let's start. We often hear that some aspirants, even though after 1 year of serious preparation for the exam, they say that they couldn't perform well in the examination. How is it possible? Even after 1 year of dedicated preparation for the exam, they couldn't do well in the exam. So what could be the reason? The reason is very simple, that they focused only on the preparation part. They didn't focus on the mock test. They didn't focus on the how to attempt the question paper in the best possible way to get the maximum marks. Now we will discuss this problem by taking an example of three friends, Ram, Rahim and Robert. So we assume that these three friends are preparing for GATE Aerospace from last 1 year, and we assume that these three are equally intellect. So our main focus is on three things. First one is how did these three friends attempted the question paper. Second thing is what is their mental state when they are attempting the question paper. And third important thing is how many marks did they get. Once again I repeat, our main focus is on three things. First one is how these friends attempted the question paper. Second one is how many marks did they get. Third one is what is their mental state while attempting the question paper. So these three are our main focus. Let's start our analysis. We know that in GATE Aerospace exam, we get 65 questions for 100 marks. Time duration will be 3 hours, which is equal to 180 minutes. So we have 65 questions. We need to solve these 65 questions in 180 minutes. Out of these 65 questions, we know that 30 questions are of 1 mark and 35 questions are of 2 marks. If you observe previous year question papers from 2007 to 2022, we can clearly say that we get out of 65 questions, we get 30 to 35 questions which are easy to moderate. We get 15 to 20 questions which are moderate. We get 10 to 15 questions which are moderate to tough. So out of 65 questions, we can say that 30 to 35 questions are easy to moderate, 15 to 20 questions are moderate, 10 to 15 questions are moderate to tough. Let's do RAM analysis first. We know that from question 1 to 65th question, we know that in these 65 questions, we have easy to moderate and moderate questions and moderate to tough questions. All are mixed in these 65 questions, right? So here RAM doesn't have any strategy for the attempting of question paper. So he initially started with question number 1 and he ended up to 65. So for example, let's take that Ram started with question number 1 and he completed question number 30. Let's assume that Ram got stuck at question number 3, question number 9, question number 12, question number 18, question number 24 and question number 30. Okay. So we can clearly see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. So out of 30 questions, he got stuck at 6 questions. So let us assume that for the 6 questions, he took more than 8 minutes. Okay. Let us take average of 8 minutes for each question. Okay. So it's 6 into 8, which is equal to 48 minutes. Now let's assume that out of 30 questions, he got stuck at 6 questions and he spent 48 minutes of time. Now the remaining questions are 24 questions. Let us assume that he took only 3 minutes for each and every question to solve. So it will be 24 times 3, which is equal to 72 minutes. So for overall 30 questions, how much time he spent? 48 plus 72, which is equal to 120 minutes. See, here you can observe clearly that Ram doesn't have any proper strategy. So he started with question number 1 and followed by question number 2, 3 and so on. So we are assuming that just now he completed 30th question, and out of these 30 questions, we are assuming that only 6 questions he got stuck. This is an example. So he took average of 8 minutes for each and every question. So it comes out to be 48 minutes. And remaining questions, we are assuming that on an average of 3 minutes, he solved remaining 24 questions. So he wasted or he utilized 72 minutes here. So overall for 30 questions, he spent 120 minutes. So we know that we have 65 questions and we have 180 minutes. So we are left with 35 questions and we need to solve it in remaining 60 minutes. See, now what will be the state of Ram here? If you observe Ram's mental state, he will be under severe pressure. Why? Because for 30 questions, he spent 2 hours of his time. For remaining 35 questions, he need to complete these 35 questions in 60 minutes, which is equal to 1 hour. So we can say that Ram mental state is negative. He is under severe pressure, and due to this pressure, even though if there are easy or moderate questions in these 35 questions, he will do mistakes in these 35 questions and he will get negative marks or he will get no marks. So this is the analysis of Ram. So how many marks he may get? For example, let us assume that out of these 30 questions, he got some 15 to 20 questions right. Okay. So on an average, I am taking it as 30 to 40 marks. So after spending 2 hours of time, Ram got only 30 to 40. Let us take average 35 marks. In next 1 hour, if he solves these questions correctly, then we can expect that he may get more 15 marks, which is equal to 50 marks. That too, one condition is that he should not do any mistakes and he should get 15 marks. So I'm sure that most of the students, they end up in getting 50 marks here in this state. Okay. I'm talking about only serious aspirants who prepared for the exam, and they comes under extreme pressure in the examination hall because of wasting time on some questions like this. And out of these 35 questions, they will do some mistakes and they get negative marks, and overall they will get 40 to 45, or max they may get 50 marks. So we have seen clearly that Ram doesn't have any strategy. He started with question number 1 and he ended with question number 65, and he wasted 2 hours for first 30 questions and he got only 35 marks. And later, out of 35 questions, due to exam pressure, he didn't perform well and he ended up with 40 to 50 marks in between. Okay. So this is the analysis of Ram's paper. Now let's do the analysis of Rahim paper. So Rahim also starts with question number 1 and ends with question number 65. So he came up with one mind that if he got stuck at any particular question, he don't waste more than 5 minutes. Okay. So he started with question number 1. So we know that in the 65 questions, all questions are mixed. What do I mean by mixed? That is, We have easy to moderate questions, we have moderate questions, and we have moderate to tough questions too. So let's assume that Rahim started with question number 1, and again he got stuck with question number 4, stuck with question number 8, 14, 18, 25, and 27. So we know that Rahim doesn't waste more than 5 minutes on any question. So out of 30 questions, he got stuck with 6 questions for which he spent 5 minutes. So this is 6 times 5, which is equal to 30 minutes. Okay. So the remaining questions are 24 questions. We assume that Rahim took only 3 minutes to solve each and every question. So this is equal to 24 times 3, 72 minutes. Okay. So overall, to solve 30 questions, Rahim took 30 plus 72, which is equal to 102 minutes, which is more than 1.5 hour. More than 1.5 hour. Okay. So exactly it is 1 hour 40 minutes, right? So more than 1.5 hour. Now let's see how many marks Rahim can get here. I'm assuming that out of 30 questions, Rahim got 20 questions correct. And an average of, he got 40 marks. Let us take this example. So here, more than 1.5 hour, that means almost he took 1 or 2 minutes to solve 30 questions. So he left with another 1.5 hour. And he need to solve 35 questions. So again, if you observe, compared to Rahim is doing better. But still, we can see that Rahim faces a negative state of mind and high pressure. Okay, because we know that from question 1 to 65, there are easy to moderate, moderate, and moderate to tough questions are there. So whenever he is solving the question paper, he is coming across all these kind of questions. So because of that, he is developing the pressure. So now his state is negative and he is under extreme pressure. So in remaining 1.5 hour, he needs to complete 35 questions. Okay. And even if you observe Rahim analysis also, he is also not getting good marks. Let us assume that he is getting somewhere around 45 to 55. Okay. So this is Rahim analysis. Now let's do Robert analysis. So Robert has very good strategy and he followed the strategy exactly and he got very good marks. Now we will see what is this strategy, and I'm going to suggest this strategy for everyone, and if you feel that this strategy is good enough, you can follow it and you can suggest to your friends too. Okay. So what is Robert's strategy? So he did a very good analysis of previous year questions and he know that out of this 65 questions, we get 30 to 35 questions which are easy to moderate and 15 to 20 questions which are moderate and 10 to 15 questions which are moderate to tough. So initially Robert know this analysis. He did this analysis from previous year questions and he came to know that out of 65 questions, we get 30 to 35 questions easy to moderate and 50 to 20 moderate and 10 to 15 moderate to tough. Now, initially, when Robert is giving examination, he wasted initially 10 minutes of his time. You may get this doubt that, sir, you said that this is the best strategy and initially you are saying that he is wasting 10 minutes. So then how this is the best strategy? Please listen this very carefully. This is the best strategy that is followed by Robert. Okay. So we know that we will be having scribbling pad, right, in the GATE exam. So initially for 10 minutes, Robert skimmed the entire paper. Okay. That means he read the question. He completely read the question. As he is preparing from 1 year, he know after reading the question once, he know that whether this question can be solved in less time or not. Or he can analyze that this question is easy or moderate or tough. Okay. So initially he wasted 10 minutes of his time. And what he did, so for example, he started with question number 1. Okay. So in scribbling pad, he wrote easy to moderate. And he wrote moderate. And he wrote moderate to tough. Okay. So easy to moderate, moderate to tough. So in the first paper of the scribbling pad, he wrote these 3 headings. And when he started reading the question paper, just skimming the question paper, like after reading once, and he categorized these 65 questions. So for example, he read question number 1 and he found that this is one-liner question. So immediately he wrote this question number 1 here. So he read second question. He found that this question is moderate and it takes more than 3 minutes or 2 minutes to solve this question. So he categorized this second question into moderate. Similarly, he read third question and he found that it is one-liner or easy question or a question which is based on formula. So he wrote 3 here. Likewise, he wrote 4, 13, 14, 24, 25, 27. And here, second question, 9, 12, 15, 23, and tough, 29, 30, 31, 61, 65, like this. So initially for first 10 minutes, Robert did this analysis by skimming the question paper. As he is preparing from 1 year, he can categorize these 65 questions into 3 parts. That is easy to moderate and moderate to tough. Now, after wasting initially 10 to 15 minutes of his time, let us assume that he wasted 10 minutes of his time. So Robert wasted 10 minutes of his time initially to categorize this 65 questions. And he found that out of 65 questions, 30 to 35 questions are easy to moderate. And 15 to 20 questions are moderate. And 10 to 15 questions are moderate to tough. So he knows his plan very clearly that out of these 65 questions, initially he wasted 10 minutes to categorize these questions. So he found that 30 to 35 questions are easy to moderate, 15 to 20 questions are moderate, 10 to 15 questions are moderate to tough. So initially he attempted this 30 to 35 questions because these are easy to moderate. Easy to moderate means one-liner questions and the questions based on direct formulas. So he solved 30 questions correctly, out of which let us assume that 10 questions are of 1 mark. So we get 10 marks. And 20 questions are of 2 marks. So it is 40 marks. So we assume that he solved these 30 questions in 90 minutes. That means on an average of 3 minutes per question. So I'm taking average of 3 because here one-liner questions can be solved in 30 seconds or 1 minute. Robert got 50 marks in just 1.5 hours. So in the first 1.5 hours, that is 90 minutes, he completed 30 questions accurately and he secured 50 marks. So he will be calm and will have a positive mindset because already he got 50 marks now he is free from exam pressure. Now he will freely attempt the next questions. Okay. So in first 1.5 hours, that is 90 minutes, Robert got 50 marks. So its mental state is positive and he is calm because he already got 50 marks in the paper. Now in the next 15 to 20 questions, out of these 15 to 20 questions, let us assume that he completed 10 questions. Okay. So out of 15 to 20 questions, he just completed only 10 questions. That is, in these 10 questions, let us consider that 5 questions are of 1 mark, so he gets 5 marks. And 5 questions are of 2 marks, so he gets 10 marks. So overall it is 15 marks. And let us assume that he takes 5 minutes to solve these questions. Okay. So if he take 5 minutes to solve these questions, that means he used 50 minutes of his time to get 15 marks and to solve 10 questions. Okay. So clearly we can see that in first 90 minutes, Robert got 50 marks. And in the next 50 minutes, he got 15 marks. Okay. And initially he wasted 10 minutes. Okay. So he got 0 marks. Okay. Now you can clearly see that he got 65 marks in just 2.5 hours. See, this is just an example I am telling you. I am considering 5 minutes of an average to solve these moderate questions because these are lengthy to solve. Okay. So we got 10 questions here. He took 5 minutes for each and every question. So I'm considering that 50 minutes he took and he got only 15 marks. So out of 15 to 20 questions, I'm just considering that he solved only 10 questions. Now how many questions are left? In this we have 10 and here we have 15. Here we have 15 questions and we have 10 questions left here. Okay. So total it's 25 questions left and we have only 30 minutes. We have 25 questions and we have only 30 minutes to solve these questions. So in the worst case, let us assume that Robert solved only 6 questions out of 25 questions which are correct. Again, let us consider that 3 1-mark questions, he got 3 marks and 3 2-mark questions, he got 6 marks. So overall it is 9 marks. Okay. So that means he took 5 minutes for every question. So that means 30 minutes. Okay. He just solved only 6 questions out of 25 and he got 9 marks. So overall, how many marks he got? So let's summarize this. So initially he wasted 10 minutes and he got 0 marks. Then for next 1.5 hours, that is 90 minutes, he got 50 marks. And for next 50 minutes, he got only 15 marks. Okay. And in last 30 minutes, he got on an average of 9 to 10. Let us take 10 for round figure. So overall, how many marks he got? 75. So overall, it is 75. So this is an example I am telling you. These times can be changed or number of attempted questions can be changed depending on the individual persons. Okay. So here I am taking on an average of 5 or 6 minutes, which is more actually. We need to solve all questions in the GATE in less than 3 minutes. Okay. So if you are taking more than 2 minutes to solve any question, if you are not getting any idea, okay, and we are taking more than 2 minutes means you just skip that question and go for the next question. We should not waste more than 2 minutes on any question. Remember this. This is the most important point you need to remember. Okay. If you are not getting any idea or if you are not able to solve any question and if you are wasting more than 2 minutes, skip that question and go for the next question. And if you follow this, as per this timings that whatever I told you now, minimum you will get 75 marks easily. And here you can see that Robert is having positive state of mind. See, I have taken very minimum number of questions, that is 6 here,
And here also, I have taken only 15 marks. That means I have considered only out of 27 to 25 questions, I solved only 10 questions here. So even this number can be increased here. Even this number, 6 questions number can be increased. And this 15 marks and this 10 marks can be increased. So you may even get up to 85 or 90. Okay. This is the one of the best strategy that need to be followed while attempting the question paper to get maximum marks. So if you found that this strategy is useful for you, definitely try this. This will definitely give you good marks and your mental state will be positive when you give the examination. So this is one of the best strategy that one can follow to get maximum marks in the examination and stay away from the examination pressure. Okay. So if you feel that this strategy is good and this can help you, then definitely you can follow this strategy. And if you find that this strategy is good, then you can share this video with your friends and serious aspirants of GATE Aerospace and try to help them. Thank you so much. For more videos related to aerospace engineering, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, join our Telegram channel for more information related to aerospace engineering like internships, job opportunities, materials, and many more. And wish you all the best for your GATE exam. Thank you. Thank you all.